Today I'm sharing the books that I plan to read in the month of October. Welcome to my October TBR. Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's Rachel here. As always, hit that subscribe button if you're yet to do so. Like this video as well so that it is recommended to other viewers. So getting into today's topic, we're talking about the books that I want to read in the month of October 2021. So you guys know that I'm a little bit inconsistent in posting my to-be-reads or TBRs for different months, and September was just a lot, so I couldn't even read that much. I think I only read one book or half a book, so I'm super excited to be back reading books and sharing the books that I plan to read. Also getting your opinions on these books in the comments. So let me know if you've read any of these books I'm about to talk about in the comments, or if you plan to read them as well. So first off, in the month of October, I'm planning to read The Art of Thinking Clearly by Rolf Dobelli. I have started reading this book. This was our September pick for the book of the month at the Readers Hub book club, which I belong to. I started reading it. I did not finish it. I got halfway, but it seems very interesting and like something that I would really be interested in, because it talks a lot about psychology and a lot of cognitive biases and cognitive dissonance or whatever. So this is a really lovely book. I'm going to read out the synopsis for you guys. It's non-fiction. It's written by Rolf Dobelli and it gets you thinking a lot. I guess that's why the book is called The Art of Thinking Clearly. There's a lot of contradictory statements that he makes, and he even admits that yes, this book is not for you. It's not like a self-help book for you to just take and say yes, this is what he says, so go with it. It's something that makes you think. It's something that makes you examine certain things that you do every day to just help you before you make decisions. Now, let me read out the synopsis of the book. The Secret of Perfect Decision Making. Have you ever invested time in something that with hindsight just wasn't worth it, overpaid in an eBay auction, continued doing something you knew was bad for you, sold stocks too late or too early, taking credit for success but blamed failure on external circumstances? These are examples of cognitive biases, simple errors we all make in our day-to-day thinking, but by knowing what they are and how to spot them, we can avoid them and make better choices. Whether dealing with a personal problem or a business negotiation, trying to save money or make money, working out what we do or don't want in life, and making sure we get it. This is a phenomenal international bestseller, The Art of Thinking Clearly. It is essential reading for anyone with important decisions to make. Simple, clear, and always surprising. It will change the way you think at work, at home, and every day. So yes, this is it right here. It's called The Art of Thinking Clearly by Rolf Dobelli. I'm excited to continue reading it. I got my copy at Roving Heights bookstore in Nigeria. Next up in the month of October, I'm looking to read Butter, Honey, Pig Bread by Francesca Equiasi. I've seen this book make, I hope I pronounced that well, I've seen this book make all the rounds on Bookstagram, BookTube, everything, and I think it's been out for a while. And I tried to listen to the audiobook on script. I guess I just wasn't feeling it, and I actually would prefer the hard copy. So someone gifted me, thank you so much Bukola for gifting me a copy. Yeah, Bukola gifted me a copy of Butter, Honey, Pig Bread. I always mix them up every time I talk about this, so I have to keep on reminding myself which one comes first. So I'm excited to read this book. I've only seen very good reviews on it, and it's the book pick, I think, for October for the Indulgent Bibliophile Book Club. You guys can check them out if you're looking for an online book club to join. And they're reading it, and they're going to have like an author chat with the author later this month. So I'm excited to join that, and yeah, I'm going to see how that will go. I'll do a review on it and, you know, just let you know how it went. So let me read out the synopsis of the book so you know what it's about. Spanning 3 continents, Butter, Honey, Pig Bread tells the interconnected stories of 3 Nigerian women, Kambirinachi, I'm not Igbo, I hope I'm pronouncing this well, and her twin daughters, Kehinde and Tai. Kambirinachi believes she is an Ogbanje or an Abiku, a non-human spirit that plagues a family with misfortune by being born and then dying in childhood to cause a human mother misery. She has made the unnatural choice of staying alive to love her human family, but lives in fear of the consequences of her decision. Kambirinachi and her 2 daughters become estranged from one another because of a trauma that Kehinde experiences in childhood. childhood, which leads her to move away and cut off all contact. She ultimately finds her path as an artist and seeks to raise a family of her own, despite her fear that she won't be a good mother. Meanwhile, Taye is plagued with guilt for what her sister suffered and also runs away, attempting to fill the void of that lost relationship with casual flings with women. She eventually discovers a way out of her stifling loneliness through a passion for food and cooking. But now, after more than a decade of living apart, Taye and Kehinde have returned home to Lagos. It is here that the three women must face each other and address the wounds of the past if they are to reconcile and move forward. Butter, Honey, Pig Bread is a story of choices and their consequences, of motherhood, of the malleable line between the spirit and the mind, of finding new homes and mending old ones, of voracious appetites, of queer love, of friendship, faith, and above all, family. So yeah, I'm excited to read this book and join in on the book chat to just listen to the author answer questions on this one, because it has been really hyped in the book community online. So let's see how it goes. If you've read it, let me know in the comments. Is this something that you recommend? Let me know. In the month of October, I'm going to be reading Think Again by Adam Grant. I heard about this book from our book club, even if we didn't actually read it, but somebody suggested it as a pick when we wanted to read non-fiction, and I hear that this book is really great. So this month I'm trying to balance it up with fiction and non-fiction. I'm really excited about this because I've seen it make the rounds a lot online as well, and people refer to it as a really lovely book. So let me read out the synopsis of Think Again by Adam Grant. Discover the critical act of rethinking, how questioning your opinions can position you for excellence at work and wisdom in life. Intelligence is usually seen as the ability to think and learn, but in a rapidly changing world, the most crucial skill may be the ability to rethink and unlearn. Recent global and political changes have forced many of us to reevaluate our opinions and decisions, yet we often still favor the comfort of conviction over the discomfort of doubt and prefer opinions that make us feel good instead of ideas that make us think hard. Intelligence is no cure and can even be a curse. The brighter we are, the blinder we can become to our own limitations. Adam Grant offers bold ideas and rigorous evidence to show how we can embrace the joy of being wrong, encourage others to rethink topics as wide-ranging as abortion and climate change, and build schools, workplaces, and communities of lifelong learners. You will learn how an international debate champion wins arguments, a black musician persuades white supremacists to abandon hate, and how a vaccine whisperer convinces anti-vaxxers to immunize their children. Think Again is an invitation to let go of stale opinions and prize mental flexibility, humility, and curiosity over foolish consistency. If knowledge is power, knowing what you don't know is wisdom. Wow, this sounds really good, and it sounds so packed. If you've read it, let me know in the comments. It's non-fiction, and I'm super excited to read it. It's called Think Again by Adam Grant. Let me know if you've read it in the comments. Next up, in the month of October, I'm going to be reading Americana by Chimamanda Adichie. If you guys know, this is a Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie stan account because her writing is amazing and I really love the way this woman writes. You can check out all my other reviews on books that she has written or books that I have done reviews on. So we selected this book as our book of the month of October at the Readers Hub Book Club because we're reading fiction this month, and Americana was one of the picks. A lot of people voted to read Americana. So let me know in the comments if you've read this. I think I read this a while ago, maybe like 6 years ago or so, and it's one of the books that I'm looking forward to rereading this year before the year rounds up. So I'm going to definitely do a review of my rereads that I read again this year in 2021. As teenagers in Lagos, Ifemelu and Obinze fall in love. Their Nigeria is under military dictatorship and people are fleeing the country if they can. The self-assured Ifemelu departs for America. There she suffers defeats and triumphs, finds and loses relationships, all the while feeling the weight of something she never thought of back home: race. Obinze had hoped to join her, but post 9/11 America will not let him in, and he plunges into a dangerous, undocumented life in London. 13 years later, Obinze is a wealthy man in a newly democratic Nigeria, while Ifemelu has achieved success as a blogger. But after so long apart and so many changes, will they find the courage to meet again face to face? Fearless, gripping, spanning 3 continents and numerous lives, the National Book Critics Circle award-winning Americana is a richly told story of love and expectation set in today's globalized world. So that's Chimamanda's book right there. If you've read it, let me know in the comments. I'm sure a lot of you guys have read this book, so let me know what your reading experience was like in the comments. This book, if you don't know, is fiction, and if you don't know who Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is, then you should totally Google her, you know, just so that you know. Yeah, there's really no other way to put that. Next up in the month of October, because I did not read it in the month of September, or was it in the month of August? I can't remember which one I put as my TBR last. I think yes, it was my August TBR. I couldn't read this, so I'm going to read it this month. It's titled The Chain by Adrian McKinty. It's also fiction. It's psychological thriller. I've been so excited to read this book. I've had this book on my shelf for over a year. Yeah, I think those were two contradictory statements. Yeah. But I've had this book on my shelf for over a year. It's just been sitting there. It's always eyeing me because it's in a genre that I really love to read, and I'm super excited to read it. I know that by leaving it on my shelf for 1.5 years, it doesn't say that I'm super excited to read it, but I am. I really am. Okay, so your phone rings. A stranger has kidnapped your child. To free them, you must abduct someone else's child. Your child will be released when your victim's parents kidnap another child. If any of these things don't happen, your child will be killed. You are now part of the chain. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one this month since I couldn't do that. I'm actually excited about reading a lot. I've been binging so much on Netflix for the past couple of weeks and months, and it's been lovely. So I'm excited to really get into the books. Lastly, in the month of October 2021, I'm going to be reading Oliver Sacks, The Man Who Mistook His Wife for a Hat. This book was recommended in a psychology course that I took, an online psychology course that I took. You guys know that if you follow me a lot, you know I'm super crazy about psychology and mental health. I'm really passionate about both fields. So this is a book that was recommended by the professor who was teaching the online psychology course, and I got this book. I kid you not, it's been over a year or a year and a half, and I've been wanting to get into it, but we know how I am with books that I'm excited to get into. They sit on my shelf. In his most extraordinary book, Oliver Sacks recounts the stories of patients lost in the bizarre, apparently inescapable world of neurological disorders. These are case studies of people who have lost their memories, and with them, the greater part of their past, who are no longer able to recognize people and common objects, whose limbs have become alien, who are afflicted and yet are gifted with uncanny artistic or mathematical talents. In Dr. Sacks' splendid and sympathetic telling, each tale is a unique and deeply human study of life struggling against incredible adversity. So I'm super excited, you guys. Like, this book is, I'm definitely getting into it this month. Hopefully, fingers crossed. If you have read this or you've come across it, please let me know in the comments as well. And I think that's all. I'm really not going to overshoot it by trying to read 5 billion books this month because it's quite busy for me. But anyway, those are the books that I plan to read in the month of October. If you've read any of them, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.